Hello and welcome back to another live weekend preview here at the Final Flight podcast. Myself and Rich are here. Joe will be joining us later on. He's currently got some car trouble, so he's running a little bit late, but we are looking forward to another bumper weekend of racing. Rich, we've got Kempton and Warwick to get through, and we're going to have a little mention of the rearranged Lalwors of Naas tomorrow. It's been a pretty quiet weekend last weekend and the week just gone. Not really much has happened, meetings off and things like that. So you're looking forward to finally getting some semi-decent racing this weekend?
Yeah, so much so, been through the cards and some nice horses out this weekend. So fingers crossed we get to see them when the weather doesn't have an impact.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare, really. I mean, I do think certain players are expecting a bit of a big freeze, but fingers crossed it doesn't happen and we get the racing on and we can get stuck into it. So what we'll do is then we'll kick off with tomorrow. Obviously, the Lalwors of Naas got called off because of the fog. It was a bit of a farce, really. They couldn't see a thing, could they? I mean, we saw Night and Day beat Brandy Love the last 50 yards of it, and other than that, we didn't get to see anything. So for all we know, they could have jumped it back at Van halfway around. But luckily, they've got it back on, and we'll just go through the main race. I know there are a few people on handicaps and things like that, but we've just stick to the main race for tomorrow before we concentrate on Warwick and Kempton. But a horse I really like, as you can see by the scarf, Il Atlantique is currently into favourite at the moment, best price 7-4. Firefox is 2-1, and Tabar in at 6-1. Chape de Soleil, Croke Park, Lecky Watson, and the outsider at 4-1, Reading Tommy Ron. So we'll just spend a couple of minutes. I can't remember who you went for last when we mentioned it last weekend, Rich. So take it away. Who have you gone for?
The one I mentioned was is it Chape du Soleil?
Chape de Soleil. I've gone for
we'll go Soil. Yeah, it's a good race, isn't it, on paper? I just think that they were quite disappointed with him last season in the bumpers. I think Mullins thought that he was going to be his main bumper horse, and it just didn't really happen. Seemed to be kind of learning still on the job. And obviously came out over hurdles on debut and won, I think it was at Clonmel, maybe, on heavy. So obviously takes on some well-established horses in like Firefox, who's had a couple of runs. So it'll be quite interesting to see him. He's a nice price. I think he's about 10s, is he? Around 10s?
Yeah, 12. Yeah, 12-1.
12-1. I mean, I'd take a little each-way dabble on that potentially, but I do like your selection. Oh, I think it's your selection from last time. Il Atlantique.
So, yeah, I mean, if you've been watching the Cheltenham Antipost show, I put him up for the Ballymore at 20s. I think he's a really good horse. I think he seems to have come along for the summer. I think obviously the bumper form does tie in with Firefox. Firefox did beat him that day, which is fair enough. But I just think, he opened his season up at Goring in a maiden hurdle and he won it by a mile. He just looks like he's come along, grown into himself a little bit. It looks a bit more of a different animal, and you just don't know how much they're going to improve, I think, from bumper seasons. We see so many times bumper horses, perform really well, then they don't perform as well over hurdles or vice versa and things like that. So I'm willing to put the bumper form to one side and see how he goes over hurdles. Obviously, most of these are stepping up into Grade 1 company for the first time, so they're kind of all in the same boat. I think it's a really good race. I think it's going to be one of them races that gives us a lot of clues towards Cheltenham. You might see horses that perform really well in this, and then you're thinking Ballymore horses, if they don't perform as well, they might go towards a Supreme and things like that. So it could shake up the markets quite a little bit after tomorrow. So we'll see how they go. But fingers crossed for me, Il Atlantique. I think he's the one to be on. Personally, we were on at 11-4. We were on at 11-4. I think we were for the llast time. He's obviously into 7-4 this time, so he is a lot shorter this time. But fingers crossed, Townend's on. And he gives Willie Mullins another winner. So that'll be for me, mate, to be honest. And that's all we'll really say. On Naas, it's a nice card tomorrow. So if you're betting at Naas tomorrow, go easy and enjoy the racing. Right. Let's get stuck into the weekend. We've got a couple of nice cards at Warwick and Kempton on ITV. We're going to go through most of those races. And then we'll finish with anything else. And if Joe manages to get on in time, he can give us his picks. And as always, we'll have a nap and a charity bet, which we didn't really have last week. Well, I had one and it didn't win. Did you have a charity bet last week, Rich? Can't remember.
Mine was at Sandown and it got cancelled.
Correct, yeah. So most of it was off anyway. So fingers crossed it'll be on this time round. Right. The first race we're going to do then is the 149 at Warwick, which is the Potemps handicap qualifying race. You've got Kintara is currently in his favourite. Joint favourite, best price for Mel Monroe. Don Elliott, who's bringing him over. Martha Bray, Shallow River, Third Wind off a very long break. Jai Freud, if that's pronounced right. Gentleman at Arms and the big breakaway. I'll let you take it away for this one, Rich. Kick off the show. Kick off, Warwick. Are you looking for the winner, or is yours going to be trying to get a fourth place little sneaking job?
I've kind of gone with one that I think potentially isn't going to win, but is going to be placed, so they qualify.
The place bets have started already. It's a disgrace.
I've gone for Third Wind, who actually won it last season at Cheltenham. He won it off 141. I think he's the same mark. We've not seen him. Obviously, he's been off the track for 667 days, I think it says. So, I think they've kind of targeted this sort of race to try and get him qualified again. That's probably the main plan. I think best price is 10 to 1. I think that's quite a good each way price. He's actually down to 7s on Sky Bet, I think. So he has been nibbled at. But potentially he's not one that's going to win, but I think he'll be placed so that he qualifies again for the Cheltenham Festival at March. My angle.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm just looking at one of the comments here. John's already on. He's put, "Come on now, Apple." Yeah, we'll speak about it in a bit, John. Don't you worry. You can have your say as well. And Andy Joyner, can't believe he didn't nap blazing last week, James. LOL. Before I go on to I've just got this. Rich made this little graphic for us. If there's any Blazing Soldier fans watching, he obviously won his race last weekend at Newcastle, the novice hurdle. Fantastic performance. He's got a big future ahead of him, and I'm going to look forward to following him everywhere he goes. And it was a nice little price we got on there, but obviously we didn't know which way he was going to go, and he's gone the right way. So fingers crossed that will continue. My selection then for the 149 at Warwick, I've had a look through this, and I'm actually going to go for a horse who I think's got a chance of winning this, who's actually already qualified for the attempts. So I think there'll be, like you say, there's probably be a few in here that maybe don't want to win, that maybe just want to get qualified and just sort of sneak in. It's the name of the game with these sort of races. You've got to kind of try and find the ones that want to win. And I think this guy might be there to win. And the horse I've gone for is Shallow River. For Anthony Charlton. He finished second in a qualifier. I can't remember which one it was, but if you go back through his form, I just think he's got pretty decent form. I think he's got the ability to win this sort of race off of a mark of 1-2-1 with Bradley Harris taking 5 off. That's correct. He's already qualified. If you go back through his form, it was neck behind a horse called Rambo T, who won a couple of weeks back, or it might have been last week. He's now rated 132. That was on soft ground over 2 mile 5 back in October. He's been sort of second 3 out of 4 times since that. And if the one where he was qualified, the last run, he was a staying on second, and the extra sort of half a furlong to get here back on soft ground. I think he's got the ability to go close here. I think they will be looking to win this. Like I say, he's off a mark of 1-2-1. It's probably quite low. If thinking they're going to go to attempts and win, I think they'd want to be thinking they could win a race like this. Or if they don't think they could win the attempts, why not go win a race like this where you might catch a few that are looking to be qualified rather to win, that are off decent-ish marks as well. So I'm thinking he could go close to that Shallow River for me. He could get similar. When I was looking this morning, it was 16 to 1. He's into 9 to 1 now, which is still a good each way price. I'll never turn my nose up at 9 to 1, so I'll have a little bit each way on him and see how it goes on the day. Lovely. I'm just going to jump in here. There's another comment here. Andy's put thumbs up. Cheers, Andy. Thanks for tuning in. Michael's put, nice keeping your head above water there, James. LOL. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but cheers for tuning in, Michael. Right then, so we'll move on to the next race. I feel like it'll be quite a quick show tonight with Joe not on. He rambles on. He'll probably jump on at some point, no doubt. So then, the 224, John's going to love this one. The Trusted Trader Hampton Novices Chase, 3 mile, grade 2. Apple Away, currently in his favourite. She's been backed in a little bit. Best price 2 to 1. Grade Dawning for the Skeletons, 9 to 4. Broadway Boy, we obviously had Tom Bellamy on the Cheltenham show a couple of weeks back. He spoke so highly of Broadway Boy, and you quite like him for the Brown Advisory, Rich. So I'm interested to see if you're going for him here. 5 to 2, changing man 8 to 1. and Carbon King. Before John... sorry, Michael just put a comment up there. Shallow River. Sorry, John, I get you now. I'm slow with stuff like that, but cheers anyway. Go on then, Rich. Tell me why Apple Away is not going to win, or is John going to jump in the comments? Who are you on, mate?
Because Broadway Boy wins. That's the reason why Apple Away doesn't win. It's a good race, on paper. You've got Apple Away and Grey Dawning. They're two very good horses that I have liked for the season. I just think Broadway Boy, if he's got any chance of winning the Brown Advisory, he needs to be winning a race like this.
It's a lot of weight to give. A lot of weight to give to, isn't it? £12.
If he doesn't beat these two, then is he really going to get anywhere near Stay Away Faye? Maybe not. But, Tom Bellamy was quite keen on this lad. He said that if someone comes up by him, then he'll just keep on going and keep getting his neck in front. So I think it's a good race. Grey Dawning stepped up to 3 miles. Didn't really... I think he finished about 4th. I think it's 2.5 sort of horse. Apple Away gets nearly a stone. That's my only worry in this. If he does get beat, I think Apple Away is the one that's probably going to catch him. But I think he wins the RSA, so I'm going to stick with him. And I think he's rated to 150 at the minute. Is it 150? If he wins this, he'll go up to 152, 154 maybe. I think that's a decent rating to win the Browns. So not jumping off him just yet.
No, it's fair enough. I'll stick John's comment up because he's obviously part of the ownership there. I think you are right, John, at Apple Away. But a hard race for Apple. It is. It's hard. Excuses in already. Look, Rich. Hard race for Apple. It is her trip now and had a couple of runs over fences. Wish it was softer. I hope she's ridden prominently. And if she gets to the front, you watch out. She will run the legs off them, just like Aintree. Yeah, I mean, she obviously performed well on Chasing debut. Can't deny that. She jumped really nicely. Not sure what she beat like, but she'll come on for that run. As you said, she'll come on for the previous run. I think she does go quite close here, probably with the weight allowance. Like I said to Rich before we come on, I sort of said this could be the sort of race where she maybe gets away with winning it with the weight allowance, but maybe then fall short at a higher level. Obviously, Broadway Boy is a nice horse. He's got to give quite a lot of weight away. It's not a race I'm going to go heavily in on betting wise, but the one I thought I'd maybe just give a little chance to maybe cause a bit of an upset was the Changing Man for Tizard. I thought he obviously comes second to Stay Away Fair, sort of a length and a length and 3/4 when it were Exeter, and then he was travelling pretty well in the race with Giovinco, but he unseated. I'd maybe give him a chance to give him obviously an excuse there. It was an unlucky unseat. But I'd maybe give the Changing Man at an each-way price 8-1. Obviously, it's not an each-way race. I'd maybe chuck a couple of quid on and see how the race unfolds. I mean, I obviously like Stay Away Fair for the Brown Advisory. I do think he's the one to be on for the Browns. And it'll be interesting to see which one of these can kind of come out of this race as one that might go and challenge him. Obviously, I think it'd be tough for any of them anyway, but it's a tight little race. Obviously, that's been priced in. They're all quite similar prices. So I just thought, like you say, Grey Dawning's probably not a 3-miler, back better off the front at 2.5 mile. Broadway Boys got to give the weight away. Apple Away is one of them. I'm not too sure. So from that, I just thought I'll stick a couple of quid on the Changing Man for the Tizards and hope they all fluff the lines at the front. So yeah, tough race, but definitely one I'll be worth watching and seeing who comes out of it on top. So lovely. Craig's jumped on. Craig, good evening, my friend. Evening, you lovely gentleman. How are you, mate? Nice to see you. We're hopefully coming to visit you very soon over at Greenhall and Guerrero. So hope you've had a good day today. Hope you're feeling a little bit better as well. I know you've been a little bit unwell, haven't you, pal? But fingers crossed you're feeling a bit better, mate. Fantastic. I've got to try and stop saying that word as well, Rich. I've listened to a couple of our shows back and I seem to say fantastic. Some of the tips sometimes are not fantastic. But fingers crossed that'll change this weekend. So Warwick, 3 o'clock then, though. I'm not even going to pronounce that, but the Classic Handicap Chase, Premier Handicap, over 3 mile 5. This is a tasty little race, this. I like the look of this race. I'm interested to see who you've landed on here. I know, obviously, Molina Girl's in as favourite currently, although it's an open field, 5-1. Guatapan Collonge, 7-1. Beauport, another horse I've backed in the past, 17-2. Fontaine Collonge. I wonder who you've gone for in here, Rich, actually, just looking at it again. Gallia de la Torre's in here. Major Dundee, City Chiefs, a yak. Go on then, who have you gone for? Let's hear it. I wonder who you've gone for.
Well, I've gone for Gala de la Toe, but I still think she needs 2.5 rather than 3.5. But
Didn't Harry Skelton come on the show and say she needs about 5 mile?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, Harry Skelton came on and said that this horse needs 3 mile plus, and I think it kind of told in the last race. She finished second at Newbury in a listed race of a 2 mile 7. That was on soft. I mean, she's stepping up to 3 miles 5 here. I think that's going to be ideal. She was fourth to Jerry Colomb at Aintree last season. I think that's good form. You know, I think the step up and trip. She's a good price as well. I think she's about 10s, 9, 10 to 1. I think that's a good each way price for you know. The favourite, Melina Girl, I thought she was travelling well before she fell at Cheltenham. So she's probably a worthy favourite, but I just think I do like this this mare for the Skeltons. You know, I do think a lot of her. So I think the step up and trip to 3 miles 5, I think he's going to suit her down to the ground. I think, I think she could spring a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of them. I mean, if the connections and the trainer and jockey impact think that she needs a sort of a marathon trip, then you'd like to think this is one of them where she should go close. It's currently soft ground. Well, it says so on here. I thought it was good to soften a bit before, but you'd like to think she'd be. If this is the race she's going to win, this is the one, being on a big step up in trip. But like I say, something just puts me off her. But Skeltons do like to land a bit of a decent one on a Saturday. But the one I've gone for, I'm in agreement with you there. I thought Melina Girl in the race at Cheltenham. I thought, you know, was travelling really well. She's off top weight, although the jockey takes off 5. You just don't know how much of a sort of fall it takes out of them. You just don't know. You know, she's been backed in a little bit, so it'd be interesting to see. But I just think I've gone a little bit further down the market personally on. Oh, to be fair, I've gone for one that fell last time, which is quite funny. I've just said that, but again, like Melina Girl, it wasn't as. I didn't think it was too bad of a fall. Just sort of tipped up, so I think it should be all right. But the horse I've gone for is a horse called Broken Halo for Paul Nichols, and Lorcan Williams is on. It was on last time at Sandown, and if you go back and watch that, that was obviously over, you know, a similar trip to this. It was 3 mile 4, and travelling really well in behind. Truckers Lodge won the race, but you know, this horse was coming off a long break. It was 244 days at the time, and I thought they'd maybe want to get a run into him before maybe going for another big pot. They won a couple of nice pots with him at Sandown last season. The Artillery, I think it's the Artillery Gold Cup and the Military Gold Cup. I think that's what they're called over at Sandown, over 3 mile. And, you know, he won them quite well. And the step up in trip today, on Saturday, should suit him down to the ground. I think the ground won't be an issue. I think it's soft, but it's not too bad. And I just thought it was travelling really well. And I think to do that off the back of a break, looking, you know, well in it, about to sort of kick on and be in the battle to finish and just tip it up. It was a bit unlucky. It kind of just fell over as he jumped the fence, really. He didn't jump it poorly or anything. He just sort of got it a little bit wrong. So I'm banking on him off a mark of 133, getting weighted for most of these at sort of 12 to 1 an each way price. You know, it could have come on for that, and I think they'll be open to try and land another big pot with him. Like I say, he's 11 stone 1. He gets a lot of weight from most of these. So I think he's got a decent chance if he's come on from that run, which I'd like to think he has done against a few of these that are maybe a little bit exposed. So, yeah, my selection is Broken Halo for Nichols. I put a couple of these comments on. Chris put, I'm going to make you... what? I'm going to make you something fantastic. Is there a GIF there?
He's going to make you a GIF of you saying fantastic.
All right, I get you. God, I'm slow tonight. Sorry, guys. John's put, where's Joe? Joe is on the way. He was supposed to be on tonight. But
he's riding apples away. That's why he's a bit late.
He's on the back. He's riding apples away here, so that's why it's taking him forever. No, he's done his tyre. I think he got a flat tyre, so we're just waiting for him to turn up and give us his bubbly, what they call it? Chuffing. I'm away with Ferris tonight. Right, so we're going to finish the Warwick card. Obviously, you got the Veterans Chase, which should have been last weekend at Sandown's, now been rearranged to on Saturday at Warwick. It's a tough little race. not one that I'm massively going to get into. I mean, my selection the previous week was Mill Green. I thought he had a decent chance. I thought he ran them close. He obviously split. I think it's Thomas Darby and I Wright. And I just thought he could come on for that run. It was off a long break. So we'll see how he goes this time round. I'm not going to spend too much time in it. It's a veterans chase. It's more for me the sort of race you just go and enjoy. But I think you've got a pretty strong selection in this one, Rich, as you were explaining last time. So for the viewers, let's hear it again, mate.
Say strong. It's strong on paper. If you look into it. So I've gone for I Wright. He runs off 150, but he's got a £7 claimer, taking him down to 143. He's reopposing a couple of horses in this. So we start with Good Boy Bobby, who beat him by a neck, I think. But there was an £18 disadvantage for I Wright there. That's down to 4 with the claimer on. So I think he could turn that around. He also reopposes Thomas Darby, he was giving Thomas Darby, I think, £5. There's now an £8 swing in I Wright's favour. And you've got Mill Green, like James said, split Mill Green split I Wright and Thomas Darby. There was £11 swinging that. That's now down to 2. So I just think with all them changes in the ratings, I just think he reverses all those form lines. So he's one I quite fancy to finally get his veterans win. I think he's about 15-2 now. I think he's getting slightly nibbled at. So he's one I do like for Warwick.
Yeah, I mean it's fair cop. When you explained it last weekend, I was a little bit like, on paper, it probably looks like the right way to go. I just thought with Mill Green, mate, he might come on for the run. He was off a very long break that day, so we shall see. Like I say, it's a veterans chase. Don't be going mad on veterans chases. Just enjoy them for what they are. And if you have a couple of quid, if you manage to get the winner, that's great. I mean, I can't really go back in with I Wright after what he did to me last time I backed him, when he was what was it, about 40 lengths in front, and he just got done right at the end. Oh my God, it made me sick. Right then, so we've got Joe. He's finally turned up. So let me just switch this over. 2 seconds. Here he is. Say hello, Joe.
Whoa. Jesus. Not great.
You look like you've just sprinted in.
I have. Can you hear that noise?
Yeah, what's that? You got washing machine in the room?
I don't know. It stopped now. I don't know if it was in the back of my computer. I just shut a tab down anyway.
Well, I just took... We've just gone through the Warwick card, mate. So if you want to just let us know your selections for Warwick, we can do. We can sort of go back through it, even though I've deleted all my things. But do you want to just spend sort of 5-10 minutes? Well, 10 minutes for now. 5 minutes going through your Warwick selections for the 4 races for everybody?
Yeah, mate. Do you want to read the 4 races out? I'm just opening my book now.
Oh, I've just deleted my thing. Hang on.
149 is the first race.
So in the
qualifying.
Got it, yeah. So for that race, I found it tough, but I did like Kintara. I think he's pretty, he's not reached his ceiling yet as such. Obviously switched from Kim Bailey. And I just feel like Charlie Deutsch has been on twice, obviously won 7 lengths last time out and won by 13 lengths the time before. It's not like he's just getting his head in front. He's sort of winning very easily. These races are always tough, aren't they? Because that they're targeting a certain race, whether they want to win or not. You never sort of know. But yeah, in terms of a horse, I like for going forward anyway. It is probably Kintara for me. Who did you lads pick?
Yeah,
third wind for me. Third wind, but it was more of a place sort of angle than a.
Yeah, win. Joe, Rich kicked us off with a place bet, mate. It's getting worse. It's getting ridiculous. He went for third. I went for Shallow River. He is already qualified for the Potemps, but he's off 1-2-2. So I think they might think they'll just go and win this rather than.
Right,
you never know.
So the next race.
You're on Kintara. 224 was the next one, the Apple Away Broadway Boy race.
The Truster Trader Hampton Novices. Although he's the outsider of the 3 now, while looking at the markets, I do like Broadway Boy. Sorry about that, Broadway Boy. Yeah, we had Tom Bellamy on before, didn't we? They all absolutely adore this horse. Has Patrick Wedge been on before?
He's not on him.
Patrick Wedge is on Apple Away.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I mean. Apple Away. Has Patrick Wedge been on Apple Away before? I was looking through last night. I don't think he has. I think it's Derek Fox has been on recently and Stephen Mulqueen or something. Yeah, I just think Broadway Boy will absolutely love this test. And, we heard Tom say that, he thinks he's going to be the horse to put it up. What's John put there? Yes, he has. He's been on Apple and won't. But I feel like, if he is going to be that contender to stay away fair, then he's got to be beating these. I mean, I feel like it might just be too far for Grey Dawning. I feel like Broadway Boy can dictate this race from the front and might not be for catching. We know Tom said that he doesn't sort of do a whole lot in front. And I just feel like maybe he's going to get that easy lead. It's not easy jump round Warwick. Last time he did put a few sketchy jumps in, but the time before he jumped very well. I just think if he can bowl along in front, he is going to be hard to pick up on 3 mile and soft ground, to be honest.
Perfect, mate. We just do me one favour as well before I move on to the next one.
What's that, sorry?
Just do me a favour before I move on to the next race.
Yeah.
You know that pen that's in your hand, Joe? We chuck it out the window.
That actually wasn't the pen.
What is it?
It was the chair. I was
clicking. It must be something as you're moving a bit. Then it's clicking. Stand up and do a podcast.
It's the armrests. I was just moving that because it's my mum's work chair. So I literally jumped on, starting it up, and I'm just moving around. But yeah, no. Who did you guys pick?
Broadway Boy.
Rich went with Broadway Boy. I said I weren't going to get too heavily involved in the race, but I said I'm going to chuck a couple of quid on the changing man. I thought he got quite close to stay away fair, was travelling all right when he tipped up last time, but
he's come for weight.
He's got to give a lot of weight away, Broadway Boy. I think if there's a race Apple Away is going to win, I said it's probably going to be this one. She gets a lot of weight from him.
John, will you be backing or not? I know
John will be a J signing to Apple Away, I'm sure, won't he?
Surely. And then
the next one then was the handicap chase, the 3 mile 5 furlong 3 o'clock at Warwick.
Rich, did you pick her?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went for Gallia de la Torre. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably say the same. To be honest, it's a big step up in trip, isn't it? And they basically said this is what she wants. And I think she's not far off being top weight, but I think Skelton being here, come for a bit of money, start off at 12s into 9s. I think we'll cherish, like I say, the soft ground in the 3 mile 5. We'll be there at the end. So, yeah, to be fair, I think Gallia de la Torre, from what Harry said anyway, is going to be perfect for her. And 9-1 is probably a good bet each way if you can get some places in that race, because looking at it, you're probably going to get 4 places, 5 places on the day anyway, aren't you?
You'd have thought so.
So you're both for Gallia de la Torre then?
Yeah.
Love it. I went for Broken Halo for Nichols. I think he's got a good chance. Nice. And then we just did the Veterans Chase. Who have you dived in on the Veterans Chase?
Oh, these are the ones I hate. I mean, I can't, for the life of me, I do like Iright, but that day when he just stopped in front, that just haunts me.
18 pounds though.
I can't trust him again. If he wins, fair enough, but
I know,
£18 swing down to £4 swing.
Yeah, you're probably right. I remember last time I chose 2 for goal, didn't I? Like I say, a horse last season that was running the Grade 1 at Ascot, the Betfair Ascot Chase, got beaten by Fakir Doudary, finished second, has some pretty good form from last year. I just think if they get him back to that, he beat Bristol de May and Dashel Drasher and Itchy Feet over fences. If they can get him right for this, should probably have a chance. But then again, Kim Bailey, 0% the last 14 days, not great. Kieran Gething's 0% as well. So, yeah, probably one I'd stay away from, to be honest.
Fair enough, mate. I'll put a couple of these comments up before I move on to the thing. Obviously, I will put a comment up that Craig's just put up there, but I don't know if anyone who's watching now managed to watch our Cheltenham Week 10 and the post countdown show, we had Josh Guerrero on, and he obviously dropped a bit of a bombshell news that the JP chaser Irocco is going to be back, hopefully sooner rather than later. And Craig's just put here, the main man Irocco back in the yard. Watch out for him, he'll be back sooner than you think. Josh obviously mentioned that he'd come back and he was doing some light trotting and things like that, and they're hoping to get him out before the end of the season, hopefully 1 or 2 times. He did sort of mention Cheltenham might be a little bit too much, so maybe don't go piling in on him. But if they get a run into him sooner rather than later, obviously you never know. But
they might do an Apple win, target entry.
Well, yeah, they could target entry or they could target one of the later meetings. But it's just great news to hear that he's coming back all right and the injury isn't as bad as people thought. And if we get to see him out soon, then that's even more good, because he was a superstar in the making. We asked him theoretically which way he would have gone, and they said Turners, didn't they, in the end, even though so we were all on for the Browns. But I think fair enough they were going to go for the Turners in the end. But hopefully, whatever he does going forward, he does it fine. And it's great. You what?
Is your last turn the heating off again?
Yeah, I've got my Il Atlantique scarf on, Joe, mate. Come on, Il Atlantique for the Lalwors and the Ballymore. The other one is, I'll just stick this up here. Chris, good evening, Chris, mate. Yes, the diet's going all right. We're hitting the targets. We're getting to send a little bit of weight off. And he thinks Firefox will win the Lalwors. I don't think it will, but you never know. You never know. Right, moving on then. Good evening, Jack. Evening, Jack, mate. Thanks for jumping on. Mm-hmm. Good to see you watching and sporting. We do appreciate it. John's then put, hopefully Irocco does run. Very good horse, yeah. He looked really good at Warwick that day. Jumped really well. Travelled all over his opponents and fingers
crossed. Can you imagine if he beats Apple away at Aintree?
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Apple away goes to Cheltenham and gets beat, and then goes to Aintree and gets beat by Irocco? No, I mean, I'm thinking if they got him back in time, he'd beat Gaelic Warrior Turners. Even though Gaelic Warrior's probably going to go Arkle now. Oh, it's all over the place. The Cheltenham markets are all over the place.
If Apple wins at the weekend, surely she's got. I don't know, where do you think she'd go?
I mean, if she wins at the weekend, they might take the chance in the Browns. To be fair, or they might skip it and go to Aintree. Like say, if there's a race at Aintree, I can't remember what that 3-mile race is. If there even is one, there will be, won't there? But whether they go to Cheltenham, I don't know. They might stick to Aintree. We'll see. It worked for her last year, didn't it? So, right then. So that's Warwick done. Then we'll move on to Kempton, and then we'll do anything else, and then we'll do our naps and our charity bets. It's been a good show so far tonight. The 1:30 then at Kempton. The new betting race with Coral Handicap Chase, 3-mile. Chianti Classico's in here, currently at favourite. You get best price 4-1. Phlegmatic for the Skeletons. Gustavian for Anthony Honeyball. Latitude, Darasha Counter, Moridor, Manila Trump. Seeing as you're coming late, Joe, I'll let you kick this race off and kick off the Kempton card for us. What a case in there.
Yeah, for me, I'm going for Chianti Classico. The booking of Harry Cobden for me is sort of, the one that catches the eye, really. I think it's a horse that's improving. Clinical around 3 miles, got a lot of ones next to his name. Obviously pulled up the end of last season, but started this season very well. Looked to improve. I know it was only a 3-runner field, but sort of dominated last time. I think, giving a lot of weight away as well, giving over, what I think was a stone 7 pound or something like that, and obviously showed that he's hardened, and he will sort of put his head down when you need him there. However, I believe he's going for the Ultima. Well, a lot of people like him for that, so I'm not too sure they will want to have his mark much higher than this, with him being top weight here. But I think the booking of Harry Cobden, surely, they want him to win here. And I think if they do, he can go and beat these lot, to be honest.
Yeah, fair cop. Rich, are you in the same boat? 18 grand to the win. It's not a bad race to win.
Yeah. Yes, and it's not a race I've got a massive opinion on, He probably wins. I mean, he's got a lot of ones next to his name, but like Kim Bailey's not in the best of form. The Harry Cobden booking is quite interesting. The one I'd maybe play a small each way chance to was Emma Lavelle's horse. Is it De Rasher Counter? Tom Bellum is on. Finished second behind Good Boy Bobby. Form ties in, I think, with Broadway. Is it Broadway Boy it ties in with?
No, it was the veterans, wasn't it? Good
Veteran.
Boy Bobby. 12-year-old, yeah.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, aye, right. Yeah, it's not a race I've got a massive opinion on, to be fair.
No, fair enough. I mean, like you say, it's a tough little race, you know. Chicanti Classico is obviously a very good horse, and like I say, they're thinking Cheltenham targets, and he's got that string of ones to his name. I thought, even though he only just won that last race, it was a decent performance, like I say, giving away loads of weight. It's just one of them, whether you take him here or do you just maybe have a poke against him. I thought he might be a bit shorter in here, but he's gone out to 4-1. His best price 4-1 from 5-2 earlier on. Well, you can get 5-2 in places still. William Hill giving you a decent price there if you think he's going to win 4-1 if you can get that on. The one I kind of went for was another one that I thought maybe had a bit of a squeak. It's the horse called Gustavian. Anthony Hurraball, Rex Dingle takes the ride. I know he's a 9-year-old, but 10-1 I think is a fair price. You know, he's had some decent back form last season. He had a wind up over the summer. He's had 2 runs since. This will be his 3rd run from the wind up, and I just think he's maybe got a squeaking, improving a little bit from his last one. It felt like the last couple of runs are just sort of getting him going again. You know, the race that he run, was it the last race? Sorry, I've got my notes here. Yeah, so the last race, the Aintree race, he comes second, although, I mean, it was a tough day going to Aintree, you know, the ground was quite heavy, but he comes second behind a horse called Richmond Late. Now, he led for most of the way, but then kind of fell away a bit, but then stayed on again. So I think they're just kind of getting to know how he is after the wind up a little bit more. Now, he's back up to 3 mile for this race, and he's back on a little bit better ground. So I just think if they can get him going handy, it could be quite tough to pay back if they finally got the sort of finally understand if he's good after this wind up and, like I say, back up in trip, bit better ground. I think he's got a really good chance of potentially upsetting Chianti Classico in this. So that's the one I'm going to go for. He gets £8 off Chianti, off a mark of 134. So I think he's got a little bit of a squeak. So that's my pick. Craig has put a comment up here. He's gone for Latitude. He thinks he could be hard to pay back off the front. And Jack, great minds think alike, my friend. Gustavian for me. This is his big one for the season. Yeah, I think it could be. I think they've been bringing him along nicely after that wind up, and I think this is the time where they're going to try and really have a good go, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. So fingers crossed that's the case. So Gustavian for me at 10-1. Steady away. Right, boys. So the 207, the Coral Sylvan Yanko Conti Chase, the Grade 2. Whoops, where are you going? We've got Banbridge in here, currently a 9-4 best price favourite. Edward Stone, 11-4. Pic D'Orhy, Not Long Till May, and Janadil, a proper Grade 2 race, I would say, on paper. Rich, who are you thinking of in this? Are you going to trust Edward Stone again?
Edward Stone for me, yeah. I just think the form behind John Bon, I think he's quite good. You know, he got quite close to him last time out on bad going. I think the step up and trip probably is going to suit him now. I mean, he is 10. I kind of dipped into a little bit of the form. You know, Banbridge was 10 lengths behind El Fabiolo. John Bon was 5.5 lengths, and Edward Stone finished 2.5 lengths behind John Bon. So I just think step up and trip is going to suit. I know Pic D'Orhy's in here, won last time out, but I don't know. I just think Edward Stone's the class. You know, he won the Arkle, I think, didn't he, at Cheltenham? And he's been tried in a couple of champion chases. You know, I just think he's probably the best horse in this.
Pic D'Orhy's not too bad. Has only ever been beaten once by Shishkin or something daft. Think he's got no chance with Edward Stone now?
No.
Fair enough. Joe, go on then, mate. Are you in the Edward Stone camp, or who are you thinking? No, Banbridge off a break, cup of taste, anyone you fancy?
Rich, I completely agree, mate. I think Edward Stone's very solid in this, to be honest. I mean, it's no secret that Edward Stone, you know, he was even level pegging, I should say, with I forgot his name. Injured this year. James, we've got his scarf on. He's won the
Energumene.
Yeah, Energumene. He was about 2-1 on the day and then drifted, but it was complete heavy ground that day. And, you know, the time before that, he's beat Energumene, hasn't he, on better ground. I know the form hasn't really worked out with editor Degene stuff, but yeah, I just think he's been crying out for the better ground. You know, his last 4 races have been on soft, and you know, his last one was on heavy ground against John Bon, and that wasn't a bad race at all, I didn't think. You know, finishing 2 lengths behind. I thought it was very gutsy of him, especially at 10-year-old. And I read a article Alan King said before the race, you know, this will be the race where we do step him up after. They said that, you know, he's getting on a bit, and I think he does want this, you know, the further trip. I just feel like Banbridge coming off a break, you know, he's hard to take in a grade 2 against, you know, Edwardstone, who's finished 2 lengths behind John Bon on unwanted ground on a shorter trip than he's probably wanted, and he's finished 2 lengths behind. Pick Doy's sort of the unforgotten one, but I just can't have him though. He absolutely walked up the line at Ascot the last day. I know he was miles ahead of Straw Fan Jack, but I just think if there's one in here who's, I wouldn't say untapped potential, but I'd say untapped potential at this trip on this ground, I would probably have to side with Edwardstone. I think he could impress, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of them where, you know, you're going to trust a 10-year-old Edwardstone to be able to come and win a race like this. And to be fair, you know, I mean, I'm going to take him on, but a few of us could look pretty silly at 11-4. It's not a bad price, that. If you're taking that best price, it could look a big price on the day if he goes and does what he could potentially do. Like I say, the form behind John Bon's decent. Obviously stepping up in trip. We'll see how he goes. The one I landed on, and again, you know, we don't dive in with 2 big bets or anything like that. But I thought I was going to take a little punt on Not Long Till May. I think Banbridge off a break, I'm happy to leave. Edwardstone, you know, 10-year-old now. Is he getting on a little bit? Will he have it to go and win a race like this? Maybe, but I just thought I'd leave him. Pick Doherty is one of them that I've just never really grown to. Do you know what I mean? It's been the whole. He's a grade 2 animal. He's never good enough to be a winner grade 1. So, you know, he'll obviously have a good chance in this. And Janadale, I'd kind of just leave as well. He's sort of well out. He's 10-year-old. I think he'd do well to win this. So for the process elimination for that, I thought I'd give a chance to sort of the Not Long Till May. I think the form, you know, you could see he's also got really good form. He's been second behind Stage Down the Turners. He's then come back off a break. He was 3rd at Cheltenham, but that were back in trip to 2 mile. You know, he's definitely not a 2 miler. And then he was second again to Stage Down the Paddy Power. So, you know, I mean, if we're thinking Stage Star can go win a Ryanair, you know, you'd like to think that Not Long Till May could potentially come and win a race like this. If he could improve a little bit after having 2 runs since his break. And I just thought, you know, he's got winning form on good to soft, good ground around this trip. So, and going right-handed, so that could be another thing. He could improve a little bit more for going back right-handed at Kempton. A little bit of a flat track, it could suit him. If they're getting going up with the pace, gets his jumping going, similar to how he did in the Turners, where he nearly did Stage Star. I just thought he could have a little squeak. You can get, well, best price currently sort of 13-2, 6-1. You know, it's a little play that I'm going to have against a couple of these older heads. And yeah, I think I'll have a crack with Not Long Till May. That's my selection.
Good stuff.
Love it. Right then. So we've got one more race to do, and then we'll do anything else. And then we'll do our naps and next best. And we're going to finish on the Lanzarote Hurdle, Lanzarote Handicap Hurdle, the 242 at Kempton. Import, we've got a few in here that we've all backed before. Impose Trois. I'll say Nemean Lion, who obviously won the Welsh champion hurdle for us. It was a really good run that day. Sonagino, Cobden on for Nichols. He won last time out. Kelly Alexander for Nicky Henderson. And sort of 14-1 bigger the rest. Hermino Hayes in here, the absolute hound who can't jump a fence or anything. I'll come to you then, Joe. Have you dissected this handicap hurdle, the Lanzarote? It's worth 100 grand, 52 grand to the winner. Big race.
Sort of, mate. Yeah, it is a big race. And one I do like, and one that springs to mind, is Up for Parole. I backed him last time at Fontwell, against Yorksea, the Moor horse. And when you watch the race back, you know, he's just had a jog round, and straight after, before the race, Connections mentioned the Lanzarote. And that day I tracked him and I put next to his name Lanzarote. And when I went through, he finished third in the Lanzarote last year, and he finished behind West Balboa and Red Risk. You know, there was a few horses that didn't finish that day. It was on soft ground. But I just think he's clearly been targeted for this race again. You know, Tom Bellamy's booked on. You know, Jamie Snowden's not in bad form at all. He's been well looked after for this. You know, finishing third last year, he's only £1 higher, and he's 16-1. For me, it does look like a bit of a steal. You know, if you're getting extra places, he was 22-1 last year, and he come third. He's still 16-1 off £1 higher. I mean, I'd like to think they'd have him in good enough shape to win if they're bringing him back here. Yeah, I quite like him, to be honest. That Neiman Lion did sort of catch the eye only because he was a non-runner last time out against Conhill, but he's off 11 stone 11, and you know that will be tough if the conditions are testing. And you know, you look at the race last year, West Balboa won it off 10 stone 11. There's a lot of lightweights. Tom Bellamy's up for parole, and you know, up for parole's 10 stone 11 again. So yeah, I look through, and you know, a lot of the top three are carrying 11-5, 11-11, and 12 stone. So I thought, you know, they're not there to be beat, but you know, it screams for something at a bigger price to come that's well handicapped for me.
Yeah, I agree with that point, and I'll come to you, Rich. I mean, I for this sort of race would definitely be looking in the sort of 11 stone and below bracket, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, mate. Who have you landed on?
The favourite, Imposed Torque, wins this.
Go on then, explain why.
I just think he's a group horse, you know. I was there at Cheltenham when he won the handicap. He did it how he wanted, you know.
You got beat last time.
At Cheltenham? No, I was on about the first time out.
Yeah, but I mean, you say he's a graded horse, but he got beat last time in a handicap.
Okay, let me go into that now. So, Lucia beat him by a neck, okay?
Yeah.
Lucia was rated 136. He finished a neck to her, rated 131. And then Lucia's got form times with the Nichols horse. Is it so Gino, is it? Or however you call it? Do you want to save me on that one?
Who was that, sorry?
The Nichols horse.
Which one?
Sonny Gino.
Oh, Son of Gino. Sorry, Son of Gino. I'm way fair then, sorry.
He finished 2 lengths behind Lucia at Cheltenham in a race that Iberico Lord won. He was rated 137 and he's now rated 143. So he's gone up £6 and he was 2 lengths behind Lucia. Whereas Imposed Torque was a neck behind Lucia, rated 131, is now 134. So he's only got £3. So Lucia was 4th in the Mares Novices last year at Cheltenham, sorry. I think she was favourite for it as well. There was a lot of good horses in there. Magical Zoe, Joe's horse for the Mares, who's now out, and You Wear It Well, I think, won it. So I think that's the strongest form in here. And I just think it's a group horse, basically. I just think you should have enough to beat these.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think he's obviously got a good chance, and we'll see how he gets on. The one I've gone for, I'm not going mad on this bet, but I'm going to have a small each way on this horse. Obviously, I'm in with Connections now. Obviously, Blazing Soldier, who won on Saturday, the Racing to Profit guys. I've got their horse in here. Caleb is a massive price. You can get sort of 50-1. 40-1 each way. I just think if you can get extra places, I'll be having an each way bet on him. You know, it's a tough race to dissect. But he's run his best races at Kempton. He's come second a couple of times at Kempton. He's won on decent ground. It's obviously going to be good to soft. He gets a massive step up in trip. Up to 2 mile 5. He's been running at sort of 2 mile. You know, the furthest he's gone to 2 mile 4. But yeah, running a tough race that with a massive price that day, so I put line for that. But he gets a massive step up trip. He's off a lightweight. He's down at the bottom of the weights. He's going to carry. I've got it here, written here somewhere. So he's going to carry 10 stone 8. And it's just one of them. If you get get one of these handicaps where a lot of these horses have won last time out, they're off high marks. They're either going to be better than handicapped horses to go and win, or they might just fluff the lines and something at a low weight might just pick up the pieces. But even if you manage to squeak into a place, it's the big race on Saturday, so you'd like to think you'll get extra places. 4, 5, 6 places potentially.
I think you get 7 on Bet365.
Yeah, if you've got Bet365, 7 places, that's crazy. If you can get sort of 33 to 1, 40 to 1 each way, 7 places, I'd probably have that and hope he runs well, because I think it is quite tight at the top of this market. Like I say, when we spoke earlier, when Joe mentioned, sort of so many of the last winners have been off low weight, so you can take quite a lot of the top of the market out of that equation if you go down that sort of stat route, which you normally like, Rich, to be fair. But you've obviously gone for the favourite again. But yeah, I think off a low weight, he might run a big race, he might not, but I'll be backing him and cheering him on for sure.
I'll tell you what though, James, I know you mentioned his Kempton runs. I didn't think his Cheltenham run was too bad, to be honest. I've actually written it down. I've just got it here. I know he finished 7th, but he was only 5 lengths behind Go Dante. Then you had Doddy the Great in 2nd, Punjari in 3rd. I know he's disappointed since. Donica 3rd, Dead Heat, Willie the Builder, In This World, and Caleb. Caleb was carrying more than In This World, more than Donica, more than Punjari, who finished 3rd. A Nichols-Cobden combo. So
Punjari's rated 117.
You might be onto something there. No, I said he did disappoint, but he was giving weight. He was giving weight to a lot of the field. He's obviously getting weight now here.
Soft ground as well. If it's a little bit better ground, will suit him. And
yeah,
step up and trip will suit him.
Too. I don't think he was disgraced there. I know he says he finished 7th, but he was by no means disgraced. I mean, I think that's a 40 to 1 each way is a better bet than a 7 to 2 win.
Depends when it crosses the line first, Joe.
Racy Ellis has jumped on more. Good evening, Ellis. You all right, mate? Thanks for tuning in. He's put Sonagino running that torrid ground at Aintree. Happy to take him on for that alone, to be honest. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he's definitely one to be took on. I think I backed him the race before that. I can't remember what race it was. Was it Chepstow or something he ran at and I backed him? I can't remember anyway. And he got beat. He travelled all over it that day and he got beat that day. So he's one I'd definitely be taking on. But yeah, like I say, for me, it's a small each way on Caleb. And let's see how he goes.
You don't fancy Langadan?
You what?
You don't fancy Langadan?
No, we all know where Langadan's going to come. He's going to be out the back of the telly, drop £2, and then it's all systems go once again. Right then, so what, John?
Imagine if they thought, you know what, sack this. We're just going to win. Everyone pile on from the yard. Get on him. 50 to 1. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. They might, can you imagine if they did that? That'd be some sight, that, wouldn't it? So, yeah, have you guys got anything else you'd like to mention for the weekend? I'll come to you first, Rich. I know when it's the flat, you've got a list as long as your arm, but have you managed to come up with anything you want to mention?
No, I've got a few, actually. Yeah, I've got a few, actually. So, tomorrow, Friday, Naas, you've got Mr. Policeman in the 12:42.
You're putting up a muggy hacker, are you?
No, I'm just saying he's out and he needs to win this to have any sort of chance in the Arkle. Huntington 150, you got Coco Mademoiselle for the Skeltons. Skeltons won the same race last year with Katira, so it's obviously one they like to target with one of the strongest mares. There's a new recruit for Nichols, who's a winner in France, and the 250 Huntington, Cabral du Matan. I'm going to go with that. Close enough.
Cabral du Matan. Just say it a bit quicker, it sounds good.
Yeah, makes it like I know what I'm about. Move on to Saturday, 12:20. Again, another new recruit for Nichols, winner in France again, with another name that I'm probably going to butcher. Khalif du Burley. That's not a bad one. I think I got nailed that one. Warwick, 12:40. You've got Klitschko, third off handicap debut off 120. He's dropped £2. I think he looked quite decent when he was a novice. Warwick 115. You've got Diamond Ree, who was second to Insurrection, and Asta La Pasta was in third, who bolted up at Market Raised. I think, Joe, you picked that one when it won. And the last one on Saturday, Fairy House in the 342. Romeo Coolio is out, which is a bit of a Twitter horse. Potentially could be
favourite for the bumper without even running, apparently, isn't he?
Yeah, apparently he's a monster, so we'll find out just how good he really is, and that's all I've got.
Yeah, I think the amount of times we hear this point when there's a monster and they just completely blow out, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Christine's on. Christine Backer. Good evening, gents. She says good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Joe, have you got anything else you'd like to mention for the weekend? I kind of set myself a bit of a target of trying to dissect one, like a handicap each weekend, so that's going to be my shout in a minute, but take it away, mate.
Well, I hope you haven't chose this one. Horatio Apples from the Guerrero Yadu we had on midweek. I think they like this one. He won well last time. He'd been racing over 3 mile and just hadn't seen it out. He's won over 2 mile 5 before. And he was held out the back if you watch his race at Bangor over 2 mile 4.5. And he was, to be fair, he was probably the only horse who really stayed the full trip. But I think he'll definitely be there. He's still rated 115. Sorry, I think there's probably improvement in that mark as well. Like all of them when they go chasing. One at a short price. Woodsy, you might want to cover your ears. Dundalk tomorrow. Beautiful dawn out for Joseph Patrick O'Brien.
Dundalk? You mean Dundalk tips?
I said, what?
We've got chuffing Dundalk flat tips and place bets. What is going on here?
No, just to want to watch it. I watched it on debut, and we got told to back it in the bookies the other week. I won't be backing at that price, to be honest, but it will be interesting to see if he'll be getting hounded or he'll be getting a well done at the weekend. Obviously Fairy House. I've got that bumper horse there. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's going to be a monster," but we'd like to see that if he is. Sorry. And the other one was, let me have a look. Oh, it was Fighting Fit in the Fairy House handicap at 157. This season 112. Gavin Broderon was last time. I don't think he gave him a great ride, to be honest. Like I say, I think Mark Walsh is on this time. Yeah, he is. Normally when JP switches from a claimer to a top jockey like Mark Walsh, they're there to win. And I quite like this one, to be honest.
Nah, fair comment. I like it. I was put Ellis's comment up. He's put, would love to see Lord Dumasnil win the Veterans Chase under Pinchin. Yeah, that'd be a pretty good sight with that, Ellis. Ed saying Ramses de Tilly at the moment, though. It's going to be a tasty race, the old Veterans Chase. What's this? I popped up. Joe's hair is as usual immaculate. However, he needs to put more effort in on his quiff as Rich is catching him up. This is fantastic. This is what the show's all about, guys, honestly. The only other horse that I'm going to put up, I've tried to dissect one of the handicaps that's at one of the other meetings, and it's the 140 at Wetherby. It's the 0 to 110 Class 4 handicap. Now, I've tried to dissect this as best I could, and I feel like I may have come up with the winner. It's over 3 mile, and the horse I'm going to go for is actually a skeleton horse. Fergus Gillard's going to be on and taking the round. I went through the race, and I've gone through, and this horse looks to have, I think, pretty decent form. It was a length second to a horse called Booster Bob, who's now rated 124. That was over 2 mile. He then went to Wetherby. Previous the day I actually went there, was 8 lengths third to a horse called Favour and Fortune, as we know, has gone on to run really well. He's rated 136 now, and he was 5 lengths off the second that day. Bertie's Ballet, again, he's rated 120. Again, that was over 2 mile on heavy ground. And then he come third, sort of 14 lengths off Immortal Flame. I know he's only rated 116, but he wasn't far off the second that day. Roger Paul, who was obviously 119, and he's gone and won since. This source is rated 110. He drops into this one to where goes into this 0 to 110 for his handicap debut, stepping up to 3 mile, which obviously is a massive step up in trip, and the soft ground should suit. He is top weight, but I went through the race and I could pick holes in every single horse, bar this one. I just thought this one looked like one of them where you might see a bit of improvement for a step up in trip in handicap, and I think he's going to win. Obviously, there's no price on him at the moment, but fingers crossed he will be an each way price
You were doing so well, James.
You what?
You're doing so well, but it's not his handicap debut.
It isn't it?
No, he ran at Ascot. That was a handicap. Conditional
Oh,
handicap.
sorry. Well, second run in a handicap. But sorry, a step up in trip. I meant the first time stepping up in trip is what I was getting at. So fingers crossed, the step up in trip works out. And the one that might follow me on was that Paddy O'Malley. I thought they were the only two I kind of had a vibe for, but the skeleton one, I think he's going to go and win. So that's the one I'm going to put up in my anything else. And fingers crossed is in each way price.
Good stuff.
John has put, are you going to the festival? I'm not going to be going, I don't think. And don't think you are either, Rich. I think we're going to meet at the pub. But Joe, you might be going?
Yeah, I think I might be going Tuesday, Wednesday, I think. Fingers crossed anyway. Well, yeah. I'll be disappointed if I'm not there. But yeah, I can't wait. It'll be my first festival. So yeah, I can't wait.
Good lad. What we'll do is then, before we do our naps and our charity bets, just a quick one. Obviously, if you haven't already, go back and watch the Cheltenham Antipost shows. They're absolutely brilliant. We've really enjoyed them. We had Josh Guerrero on from Green on Guerrero. We have got more guests lined up. A few more jockeys have happily accepted the ticket to come on the Final Flight podcast. So be watching those as we go on. Like I say, we're going to work hard to try and bring more guests from the sport because, for one, we absolutely love talking to them. It's great. We get to see their insight for things. So fingers crossed that continues. And we obviously have that competition giveaway that we've set up on Twitter. So if you go back and look at that, and if you repost that and follow us all and subscribe to the channel, you could have a chance to come on the show. John, you might want that if you want to come on after Apple Array.
Right
just
there.
Follow everyone on Twitter, like and subscribe, repost the tweets, and we'll pick a winner on next week's show, and the winner will get to come on the show themselves and showcase their skills as a pundit on one of our live previews. And we're going to chuck a racing pin and a mug in there for you as well to support Hacked Up and Horse Racing Pins, who I've got the full set. They're fantastic. Love them. Beautiful. So then, the naps of the weekend, lads. I'll come to you first, Rich. Who is your nap of the weekend?
Ooh. There's three I really like, but my nap, I'm going to have to go with Bordeaux Boy. I just he's just a horse that I really like. And I think he's got a good chance in the Browns. If he doesn't win this, then he's got no chance. So I think he does win this. That's why he's my nap.
Love it. Like I say, you got to get behind the horses you like, mate. Joe, you got a nap for the weekend?
To be fair, I'm the same. I've got three that I really like this weekend. Only because Rich has chosen, I'm going to go something different. I'm going to go for Edward Stone. I think Edward Stone stepping up in trip will bring out improvement. I think he's still game. He showed that against John Bon. I think he'll really like the... fingers crossed the rain stays away. It's good to soft at the moment. I think he'll love that 2 mile 4.
Love it. I mean, obviously, I've put up a lot of short price. A lot of big prices. So it's going to be one of them if I'm going to nap one. But I think I'll nap. I'm going to nap Il Atlantique tomorrow. I think he wins the Lalwors of Naas. He's going to then go on and win the Ballymore. So I think for a nap, I'll go for Atlantique. You know, I'm really taken to the horse. You know, I love an Ergamine, and I think he's going to go on to be something similar. So I'll nap Il Atlantique tomorrow. But and for my charity bet, I'll go first if you want, guys. I'm going to do a £5 each way double. I won't go for a treble this time. I think we'll find it really tough to land a treble like we did that weekend a few weeks back. But I'm going to go for the 3 o'clock at Warwick is Broken Halo. You can I'll get a good price on him, and the 1:30 at Kempton is going to be Gustavian. So I think at sort of 12. Well, I'll see what prices I can get, but I'll put that on both sort of double figure prices. £5 each way double is going to be my charity bet, lads. That I will post. I will place the bet and post it up on my Twitter probably tomorrow. What about you then, lads? Once the prices are out, go for it, boys.
Rich, you want to go?
My charity bet also runs at 3 o'clock at Warwick, and it's Gala de Leto. I think I might go. I'll go each way just so if he does place, I still get a little bit back for charity. So
one of the charities is going to win then.
Hopefully, yeah. I think she's 9-10 to 1, so that's a nice each way sort of bet.
Nice. What about you then, John? I'll put there's a comment up here actually. I'll put it up before you do yours. Christine's put, no Rich, Broadway boy gets beat, I'm afraid. Get in the corner and have a word with yourself. I absolutely love your comments, Christian. Honestly, they're fantastic. Just keep hammering, Rich. I'm just glad it's not a place bet.
Christine, who do you think wins in the Broadway boy race then?
Yeah, let us know who you think wins, Christine.
Mares
Chase winner, that Rich. Yeah, right.
When she doesn't stay the 3 miles 5, they'll drop her back to 2.5 at Mares.
Maybe that's the master plan. Maybe that's what he was throwing us off the scent. Step it up in trip loads, and she'll be out the back of the telly, and then they'll just think, oh, we'll just go Mares Chase. She bolts up. You never know. Go on then, Joe. What's your charity bet, and then we'll finish off, mate.
I've got a charity double. I'm going for Edward Stone and Broadway Boy. I think them two are pretty well priced, personally. I just think this race for Edward Stone is sort of a make or break. You know, they'll want to win this one against a horse who's had a layoff and a horse who's not really been challenged yet. And then, as of Broadway Boy, you know, we know they love him through Tom, and I just think, I think if he's got to win, like Rich said, if he's got to win a chance in the Brown said, he's got to win this.
Yeah, we'll see. She's put the Jolly Sail. I don't know what that is, do you?
No.
Oh, I love your comments, honestly. Fantastic. Right then, so that's it for us for another evening, guys. For everyone who's tuned in, thank you very much. Hit the like button. You know, if you did like it, obviously. If you didn't like it, then fair enough. But we do appreciate you all tuning in and subscribing and watching. You know, we enjoy chatting about the racing. You know, we'll do it week in and week out. We really enjoy it, and it's just the best thing. And like I say, the Monday night shows are just going to get better and better. Jockeys coming on, trainers coming on. We're doing the hard work behind the scenes to get them on, and hopefully that'll continue. And hopefully we'll bring some more winners as well. John's finished with Come On the Apple. We'll soon find out. And if she wins, I'll tell you what then, John, I know you mentioned earlier, if she wins, we've all got to wear yellow. We might put some at yellow on there. Well, I'll do a background for Apple Away for you. How's that? If she wins, that is. But lads, I've had a really good time tonight, enjoying chatting about the racing. Looking forward to the weekend. Any final words before we go?
No, I can't wait. Back Broadway Boy, he's going to win.
Rich, do you want to say goodbye to all these lovely viewers? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. You know, I think there's some good horses out at the weekend, so I'll stick them up on Twitter, the ones that I really like, and hopefully can get a lucky 15 or something landed. It'd be very nice.
It would be very nice. And like I say, as always, don't bet responsibly, don't go mad, enjoy the racing. Like and subscribe to the channel. It'll be on Spotify as well if you want to use that, if you're in your car or whatever. But thanks again. Hopefully see you all again next week. And cheers, guys. Thank you and good night.
See you later.